Now that we've learned a little bit more of the interface, let's take a look at some other parts of the interface that we'll just cover last minute things here to make sure you know what's going on. If everybody noticed, I don't know if anybody's used an older version of InDesign or Illustrator or whatever, Illustrator. This new Creative Cloud setup is, the interface is very dark. It's got the like dark gray, light gray, and stuff like that. If this is not to your liking, or if you want, they have found that these are supposed to be soothing eye colors, and it is. I kind of like it, but if we go to preferences, there's all kinds of preferences in Illustrator that allow us to do different things. And if we come in here to Illustrator and we can pick general, all kinds of sync settings, selection and anchor display, type, units and guides, smart guide slices. But if we go to user interface, we can pick, we want a light color interface like it used to be, a medium light, the medium dark, or if we want dark, and we can adjust it customly to, as you know, to our liking right here. So if you want, I'm just going to go back to medium dark, which is what came with it, and I've been working with this for quite a while in Photoshop and Illustrator, and I do enjoy it, so I'm going to leave it here. But if you feel more comfortable working and changing it and whatever you want, some people like it darker even, this is where you're going to find where you need to go to do that, okay? Another thing that we do not see on our interface right now are our rulers. Rulers are going to be very important in programs like InDesign and Illustrator. So we're going to go up underneath View, and we're going to come down here to Rulers, and we're going to either show rulers, change to global rulers, or show video rulers. Depending on what you want to do, show rulers is basically what you're going to want, and 9 times out of 10 this is going to do it for you. The rulers are not only there to show you how big your pages or where things are, but this is where you're going to create guidelines from. So if I come up here with my cursor, come into the ruler, click in the ruler, and drag down, it's going to give me a guideline. If I come over here into the left-hand side, click and drag out, I am going to get a guideline from my ruler that's all here. Now, if there is a point in time where you create a new file and you didn't set the preferences to go to inches, it's still at picas. If you want, you can come up in here and you can either control-click on the Mac, or you can right-click on the Mac, or you can right-click on the PC, and you can change your rulers right here by just clicking with cursor and right mouse clicking or control clicking in the ruler to change it from the measurements that you're currently with to a different set of measurements. Guidelines in Illustrator are much different than guidelines in InDesign or Photoshop. Guidelines in Illustrator, you do so much with little shapes and points and curves and strokes and fills that when you create a guideline in Illustrator, it's there. It's locked, okay? So a lot of times you might be working, oh, I want to move this guideline. In order to move the guideline, you need to come up underneath View, and we're going to go to Guides. And right now there's a check mark in front of Locked Guides, so we're going to uncheck that for the moment, and we're going to click and we can drag it, or once we click on it, we can delete it, and it is gone until we create a new one. Okay? So rulers in the interface are not just something to look at or know the page size, but also to create guidelines, and then you got to know how to do your setup for your guidelines and how to lock and unlock your guides. You're going to use guidelines a ton. I love guidelines in Illustrator, and they're very helpful. Let's go back quick to our artboards. We kind of talked about it just a little while ago, but if I go ahead and add some artboards, it's going to add the different artboards. And then when I come back into my page, again, if I hold down the space bar, I get the hand tool, and it's going to allow me to go along amongst the pages that I have here, and I'm going to move around that way. I can also come down here, and I can go to 1, I can go to 2, I can go to 3 with the little arrow button right down here in the bottom of my window, and move that way. So artboards, rulers are very helpful, and you're going to use them quite a bit actually.